Hey everyone, this is Travis LSA presenting to you the first ever LSA Info video. I plan on making a couple of these in the near future, so any requests or topics, strategies you'd like me to cover, PM me and I'll make a video for you, teaching you whatever you'd like to learn. In this episode, I'll be covering OSFs, Hansels, and farming. And that'll be the definition, uses, LSA's policy, and the resolution to the following topics. Um, okay, I'm going to start off with Hansel. We'll look at Omega LSA because he's the perfect example. A Hansel is all spy buildings, as you can see here, except for a few, which would mean like anywhere between usually 1 and 3. Um, they're usually the mixed buildings, so like the same attack as defense, but what it does is it leaves you with a very high ally bonus. So when you attack in epic battles or now Mithril Wars, because Plunder Wars no longer exist, um, you make a lot of money, but you could never use this to attack another player because obviously your stats are just too low to deal with the average attack and defense. So pretty much they attack in epics and they make the most amount of money because spies give the highest ally bonus. But in war, their attack and defense stats are useless. So what they do is a strategy called self-pinning. So they'd either go to quests or attack it in OSF, and you pretty much just spam it just to keep your troops as low as mine are right now, which is anywhere under 20%, which is usually about this line. Then if another player were to try to attack you, it'd say defender too weak, but then their spies would be full like so. So then they could hit up a player, and well, I'm hitting up an epic battle, but they could, for example, assassinate and just unload on somebody, and they're more of like a teamwork type build because you can't do all the work by yourself with making any profit. So you'd want to assassinate their troops down and then have somebody take over once they're weaker and somebody sit on them, which means pin them for a long period of time. Because you keep yourself defender too weak by less than 20% troops, and then you could either steal to help strip somebody, for example, where you just take all their gold off them. You could scout bomb somebody if they have spies that are really hurting your own team, or you could assassinate down a bigger player to help a smaller player usually pin it. Um, and that's pretty much a Hansel. Yeah, they're just big money makers, but they're weak to other players. Um, because nobody can pin themselves forever, right? So unless you're cheating, and if you are, you will be banned. I read it on the forums. For the second part of this episode, we'll be covering OSFs. OSF stands for Open Secret Farm, and I found one right here. His name's Unseen Fury, and an OSF would have stats like this, where it's 0 attack, 0 defense, and then all spies. The fact that now you see 0/0 even after the patch with the castle upgrade means that obviously he doesn't have it, which even if he did have it, it wouldn't give him like troops to attack, but it would give him obviously the attack and defense stats. So what an open secret farm is used for is they would sell potions to leave money on them, and as long as they have at least 1 gold, they can be attacked by another player of equal size. But if they were in like a system war, for example, like we used to do with LSA training grounds with Omega, then any person of any size could attack them when they're in the war roster. So they would sell potions constantly. Like I'll show you, for example. They'd go to a cheap one though, like this, and then they'd just sell one at a time because you only get, I think it's 75% of the cost. So you want to sell the cheapest ones, and then every time you sell one, somebody in your clan can attack you. Now, if you look at this player's spy stats, for example, there are about 6 million combined spy stats. So if you look at somebody that would be of size to attack him, for example, let's go with Resilient Chief. Um, this person, they have about the same stats, and when you're this high up, you'd make tons of money. So pretty much, this Unseen Fury fellow would sell potions, open up for his friends to hit and make a lot of money. And then when he doesn't want to be attacked anymore, he just doesn't sell any potions, make sure he has no money on him. And then he'll say defender too weak when you try and attack them. With the most recent patch, I believe you can actually steal from other people with spies. Like regardless of whether or not they have money on them, but the game just generates gold even if you don't have any on you. But other than that, there's nothing you can do to an OSF with 0 gold on them, because this build doesn't require allies. This person has allies, which I don't understand, because you don't get an ally bonus when you steal. So having allies doesn't actually benefit him in any way other than the stat bonuses, which, judging by the price of these, is nothing. These are probably feeder allies, meaning that somebody from this man's clan would buy this ally off of him to give him that much gold profit, and then that would open him for a period of time so that he wouldn't have to sit there and sell potions. For the third and final part of this episode, we'll be talking about farming. Now, oh god, can't type and think at the same time. On our clan's info page, we put as the rules right here: no farming hitting 5 times or more. If farmed, do not hit back. Please notify an admin. We'll take care of it. Farming is not. I just put hitting here because I didn't want to explain the whole thing. But farming is either attacking or stealing or assassinating a combination of 5 times in a 24-hour period. Meaning that if you attack 3 times and steal twice, that's still farming. Scouting doesn't apply to this though. If you scout bomb somebody, meaning just getting rid of your spies to get rid of theirs, like you're not actually, other than troop count, you're not doing any physical damage. As opposed to killing troops, which in turn would change how much money they could make in that epic battle or in the war or whatever they were in. Pretty much, like, we just overall just like to avoid the battle list in general, because there's no reason for me to hit any of these players, considering I can just click over here and hit an epic right now. Like, you'll never have a use for that unless you actually have a target, because there's no point in hurting a player when you don't have to. Go back to that. Lost my train of thought. If you're farmed, it rather than just unload on the guy or do exactly what he did back kind of thing, it's usually better to tell any admin or myself, and if nothing else, we can usually talk it through and solve problems to avoid something bigger happening. Like, the worst thing you could possibly do is start to shit talk, like, yeah, you're a fag or whatever. You know, you post something like that on somebody's wall, and then all of a sudden it's personal. Like, it's not just a game anymore. Now you're making personal attacks. So there's no reason to ever take farming that far. But it's okay to, like, the other day I got hit and I gave the guy a couple hits back, and that was the end of it. And like, that's fine. I lost some money when he hit me, and then I got some when I got it back. You'll never be able to stop everybody from hitting you, because there's always going to be those some people that try to do it. But pretty much we just it's just drama, right? We just try and avoid drama. It's another one of the rules. Don't bring your drama to the clan. So I think that's everything I wanted to cover. If you were to get farmed and we were to wall the person, or like usually an admin would wall the actual person, or myself, I would talk to their clan owner. But if that couldn't dispute it, or actually if that couldn't be a resolution to the problem, then LSA is fully ready to throw down the line and just battle it out. We'll war anybody just to avoid our members being bullied. So keep that in mind. Obviously, don't abuse that. Don't try and start wars for us to prove our loyalty to you, kind of thing. But know that we are a clan that stands by our members. If you're wearing this LSA tag that I'm loving as I scroll down our clan list, then you can expect every other one with an LSA tag to lose everything to fight for you. that's why we usually don't have too many problems with farming. After somebody farms you once and they find out the hard way that we're not ones to be pushed around, that usually tends to be the end of it. And I think that now concludes everything that I wanted to cover. So thanks for watching. I hope you learned a lot. Like I said, PM me any ideas that of things you'd like to learn, and I'll cover that. And this is Travis LSA signing out.